Hello everyone. I've been away for a while. Nice to be back. I'm using a new streaming software here, so I'm actually still learning it, and that kind of means I'm starting over on learning streaming software. Oh yay. But this one's nicer, and I can do a few more nice things with it. So we should be actually pretty good on it. It's a nice system, so I don't think it'll be too confusing. If chat would confirm that you guys can hear me okay, that would be nice. Can you guys hear me? Yep. Alright. There's a small delay in terms of the video getting upstream, but that's always the case, so we're good. Alrighty, well, I guess that means it's time to start. Okay, so shortly here you should be able to see Mystcraft pop up. Yes. This is one of my favorite parts of this new software. It just kind of comes up. That's neat. Alright. So I've been working on Mystcraft slowly but surely. Things have been happening. I wonder what I just did too. How can you see? Yeah, that's okay. Not too long. That's good. Alrighty. Yes, Slowpoke, I'm out of hiding now. I apologize for the general awayness. That's not a word, but I'm going to use it as a word. I've been very busy with the stuff for university. This past semester has been quite busy. I've had seminar papers and whatnot. So I'm back to having some free time, so Mystcraft is picking up again. I've already updated Mystcraft to 1.5.2. It's not publicly released, but it's working. And the testers have had it for a while, and they've not reported any major issues, so I'm going to presume it works. I'm glad to hear that people have missed the mod. And I've got a couple new features in. First, I'm going to go through and kind of update. You can see one of the things in there that you probably recognize. But I had to do a couple things for rendering. Oh please, the puns. People have missed the mod. Oh dear. So let's see here. That's just a standard map in the lectern. The lectern's got a bit of an update in terms of their rendering, partially because pages and what were these things called? No, I didn't actually want the page out of that. Okay, clicking the edge doesn't help either. Alright, so yeah, maps have been able to you could put maps in lecterns for quite a while. In fact, since lecterns were added. Item frames, thank you. You could put pages in item frames, and you could put maps in lecterns. That's been around for a while. But item frame rendering changed a bit, and how Forge handles entity rendering in terms of actually, no, I do want that page. How it handles things like that has changed. Just a bit. Just needed to tweak a couple things, but people wound up with very strange results in terms of pages rendering sideways on lecterns. And I don't mean horizontally, I mean like one edge embedded into the lectern. It was rather interesting. Let's see here. I don't actually get that feedback in. Well, that's kind of disappointing. Maybe I can get that some other way. Apparently that bug occurred on one of Direwolf 20's videos. But now I fixed that, whatever, and I think there's some other issues. Like you can kind of see this page is sticking out of the item lectern, or the item frame. Hello everyone. I'm getting lots of hellos in the chat. Nice to be back. you can see the page is kind of sticking out, and I'm not sure I mind. But we'll see. So yeah. Alright, so brief rehash. Portals work fine. They've been working fine. Most of this is exactly as it was in the 1.5.1 update. There's a couple new features. I guess I can get right to those. This item is new. You don't even recognize this item. I've just kind of been looking at it. It's there and not saying anything about it. Link modifier's been around for a while. Yeah, this is a debug block, and you're used to this one. Let's see. Did I make this work? Link panel. Nah, doesn't do that. That's okay. Don't need to really for that to work. Alright, so yeah, this page is a link panel. It doesn't do anything by itself. It's rather mundane. It's a page, but by itself it will do nothing. What it's for is bookbinding. So let's drop one of those in there, and I should grab some leather. Where is it? Materials. Leather. There we go. Leather. Now we can make a book. Alright, let's grab... Actually, I've got one in my inventory. Hey, it doesn't work. You now need a link panel in order to... Oh, sorry, I killed the music. Music never... I never noticed the music. Apparently it's very loud in the stream. Turn this down some too. Okay. Alright, so you now need a link panel in order to craft descriptive links. So, how do you make these link panels? Well, that's what this is for. This is the ink mixer. It is rather obviously for mixing inks. First you put in an ink vial up here, you put paper over here, it dumps the entire ink vial into this, puts the empty bottles or containers over here. This is a generic system, should work with all containers, should being the operative word. I'm getting, oh no, it's a circle comments here. It's a circle. We'll live with it. And then you get a link panel. Note it takes the entire ink vial, whereas you could use an ink vial to write several pages. It takes an entire ink vial worth of ink in order to make one link panel. It's a lot of ink involved in the link panel. So, why bother with this part? Well, let's see if I remember any of these. Let's find myself some of these. Huh. Did everybody catch that flicker? It now alternates between a couple of colors. Now that's not going to color the link panel, but what it is going to do, let's see if I got... This is how you get book properties. Or rather, this is how you get linking properties, I should say. I didn't actually check my Skype, that was my Skype going beep. Somebody Skyped me. You can't see it, so it doesn't matter. This is how you do link modifiers. This is how you're supposed to actually do the modifiers. This is a debug block and has always been a debug block, and it was never actually intended for play. It was so I could test the modifiers. This is how you're supposed to do it. At the moment, following is not one of the properties you can get through this system. Following is intended to be done through page, or not page, book properties. These are link panel properties, where it's actually linking that's getting modified. The properties for like following actually applies to the book, so that will be done through a different system. At least I intend for it to be. But I may end up doing it so that you can do it through here as a temporary thing. We'll see. Technically, it's all through the same system in the end, but I'd like for it to be done differently, just as a gameplay mechanic. Alright, so those that are just arriving, this is the ink modifier, or the ink mixer, sorry, and this is how you get linking properties and link panels, which you need in order to craft books. Okay. Everybody's used to... You can't do that this way in creative. No link book. So how do you get link books? Anybody got a guess? I've got interlinking and relative. That's kind of an odd combination, really. Because that's basically just going to link you to where you are. You have to make them, yes. So what's the recipe for... That's a reasonable estimate. Link panel with no pages, but you still could have scripted look that way. And if you just keep reading, you get craft and creative. Just stick a link panel in here, you don't get anything. So I'm teasing. Yeah, I'm terrible. Okay, I'll stop. Oops, that's wrong. So how do you do it? Like this. That looks weird. So this is an unlinked link book. Let's stick a bunch in them. I just cloned them. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, typical DM behavior. Yeah. Right. So, unlinked link books. That's interesting. And they stack to 16. That's new. Just in case anybody's not aware that's new. Alright, so I do this. Oh, it linked. It's now linked to where I'm standing. I'm going to go over my debug block here just so we can play around with this. And make it interlinking. Oh! Anybody else notice that there are 6 of these over here? That's the relative, by the way. I'll show you what relative linking is in a bit. My hotbar is a little cut off, is it? That's just because I've changed the resolution of this thing. There we go. That might be better. It's not quite sure how to handle the dimensions I've set it to. Alright. So let's see here. Unlinked link books can stack to 16. Linked linking books cannot. They still don't stack. So that makes it much easier to handle the well, to carry a bunch around. I just want to check something real quick. You probably can't see what I'm doing. At least I hope you can't see what I'm doing. I can't see what I was looking for. Oh well. Can you do the link book in the same world? Well, I just turned on interlinking, so in that case, yeah, you can. Let's pick up this link panel, stack it. That was stacked to 16. Boom! There we go. Linking as always. Nothing changed there. Is there going to be graphics for those buttons? I'm not sure which buttons you mean. These buttons? No. I'm not gonna bother with graphics for these buttons. It's a debug block. It's got mouse over text, so. Yeah, it's got mouse over text, and it's a debug block. Debug, for those that I'm saying that too fast for. It doesn't need icons. It really doesn't. I don't care to give it any. Alright, so you can get interlinking from the ink mixer. In fact, I did earlier. Interlinking and relative. Let's make a book out of that, shall we? Hopefully I still have some leather on me. Yes. Okay. There we go. It says interlinking and relative. Relative's a new one. I'm going to do this, and it's already interlinking, but it's not following. So in the interest of making it so I don't have to walk around and do interesting things with it, I'm going to make it following. There we go. Now it's following. I'm going to use it. That's interesting. I'm not going anywhere. Why am I not going anywhere? That's because interlinking and relative is a really strange combo. In fact, it's almost useless. This, from inside the same dimension, I'll just go exactly where I am. Yeah, that's kind of strange. But from another dimension... That pop was me, by the way. Oh! You guys already got this? I don't know what you do. Do you already have the generative grammar system? Show of hands that think they have that. Dude. Now, interesting question. Where am I? I'm in fact... have no idea where I am. That may mean spawn is weird. I am in fact quite lost. The reason for that is I linked relatively. So the location was relative to my location in the other dimension. It should have been relative to spawn point, so I might need to check how the overworld handles that. I should have actually appeared a little ways off from overworld spawn. But yeah. Ah, Direwolf has joined us. Hello, Direwolf. So let's see here. Recapping, because Direwolf missed this. This is the ink mixer. Ink mixer allows you to stick in vials, dumps the vial into this basin here. I'll actually remove this so you can see what the basin looks like without ink in it. You put in paper, it puts the empty containers over here, and then it crafts link panels. And link panels are necessary, so you can pull it out, it empties the basin. It's the basin without ink in it. It creates link panels, and you need link panels to make books. Without a link panel, you won't make a book. Oh, that's new too. I don't know if you have that. Possibly. I'm not sure what you got, what you don't have. I'm completely lost on that one. I need you guys to tell me. Do you have the mouse over for the tank here? It just mouses it, like tells you what's in the tank. Not exactly magic or anything. These pages can... You don't have the mouse over. Okay, well, you'll have the mouse over soon. These pages can be stored in notebooks as well. And currently there's kind of a bug in that you can put multiple link panels in. That really shouldn't be possible. And there's no mouse over for this at the moment. So I should make it so that when you do this, the crafting stops working. Because that would be silly. Not to mention completely useless. Yes, what else do I need to show? Do you have the generative grammar system? I don't know, I don't think you do. I'm certain you do not. Maps on lecterns is not new. Maps on lecterns has been around for a long time. In fact, they're as old as lecterns, I think. Grammar system. What I mean by that is the generative grammar system that allows you, well, that generates ages. This age, I didn't write. It's completely randomly generated. All of the modifiers were automatically selected. All of the symbols were automatically selected. See you there. Well, this age was completely and totally randomly generated. Oh, that's a bug. Well, the previous generation system for generating random ages was it generated by requirement. If there was missing logic, then it would find whatever it needed to fill in the missing logic. Now, it just generates a sentence, in theory, or in practice as well, but it's considered a sentence. Holy fighting Batman. Let's see here. It generates a written age for you. It writes an age, and then that's it. So this is what I wound up with without writing a darn thing. Let's go back and make a few more. In fact, we don't even have to bother doing that. Mist create. Let's go 3 x 3. That's already interesting. The sky is kind of like this teal color. The grass is purple. There's a rainbow. And I appear to have gotten an island. Like, floating island. No, I think it's just a single rainbow. There's a sun. It generally tries to force a sun. In fact, it does force a sun, though it may generate dark sun. Sorry for the occasional stutter lag. That's a lighting bug induced by vanilla. I have to figure out how to fix that. You mean add double rainbow? You can just add the rainbow symbol twice. I can sit in the middle of the desert here. Apparently this is a desert. Hello, Enderman. This is a randomly generated age. Let's do another one. This world does not look good. Well, it's entirely valid. It's a stable age. The grass is purple, but that's weird. It's not bad. Yet, the system got much easier. A little harder to control, but that's actually rather desirable. At the moment I'm tweaking to make sure it won't be completely bizarrely random, despite what you've written. Yes, it's another fortress in the distance with crystals popping out of it. The Nether Fortress symbol has been around a while. This is where the lag is coming from. That's it. The lighting bug affects some weird things, and this is one of them. So I apologize for the current hang. There we go. Alright, well let's do some more, and you can see some more Nether Fortresses in the distance. A random age won't necessarily be unstable anymore. That is true. It may be unstable, and in fact, a correctly written age may, though it is unlikely, to be unstable, in that if you wrote out enough, the grammar system will go, I don't need to add anymore. And it won't add things. But it could potentially add things that add instability. It won't add dense ores, for instance, but it may add, say, coal tendrils, which would make the world a little unstable. Oh, thank you. Could I make a double rain? Just add the rainbow symbol twice. I'm serious. I'm going to toggle the rain here. It's probably eternal rain in this age, but I'm going to make it so sorry. There we go. Yeah, that sky's a really pretty color. This must have selected a nighttime sky color to be teal, and somehow it generated a collection of color symbols that produced this nice teal color. I rather like this age. This turned out real nice. Originally, the rainbows, I wasn't actually a fan of the rainbows when they were initially added, but I like them now. They're smaller now. It's better. Is it viable to fade that rainbow? Yes. Yes, I did. Could be done. We have a zombie in leather. It is a very happy age, with the Nether Fortress just kind of off in the distance, as chat has pointed out. Okay, is there a pot of gold? No, because this rainbow has no end. You may notice it just kind of loops around you. And you can follow it to your heart's content, but you'll never reach the end of it. Hey, this age has a star fissure. Yeah, I just noticed the star fissure. There's also a obsidian pillar down here. Interesting. The star fissure generally creates a small rift. In fact, that probably explains why this is over here. Yeah, that's the plan. Alright, so let's see here. Let's make another one. Just use the previous command. 4! TPX 4! I appear to have gotten a bright purple in sky. Wooden tendrils. Let's see here. Yeah, it's just standard wood. So it either generated an oak wood as the modifier, or it didn't have a modifier at all. Both are possible. This one appears to be an ocean as well. No, there's some land over there. I'll go check out the land. The land looks interesting. In fact, I think we might have gotten purple grass again. That's kind of interesting. We would get that twice in a row, as well as a purple sky. This world has purple grass and purple sky. Weird. Myra! Oh yes, this one has a lot of purple. And the song Start Wearing Purple pops in my head. It would be really appropriate. Press F3, Extreme Hills. Let's see here, this is probably Mushroom Island Shore over here, okay. Probably some other things up there. I made Jaden's favorite world. Yeah, she does look purple, doesn't she? The clouds are just dark because it's raining, so let's toggle the downfall again. The clouds are just kind of gray. They might actually be purple. The fog might actually be purple. Did everything seriously generate purple? That's rather bizarre. The grass color is a modifier. That is correct. Grass color is now... You can have a symbol that specifies grass color and foliage color and... Well, Jada can come check it out here. The age data is stored somewhere. The wood cannot be colorized purple, unfortunately. Biomes colorize grass due to a few changes Forge made. It allows us to colorize foliage as well. And biomes can colorize water, but the water here is blue. So we didn't wind up with purple foliage and purple water, which is good. It's a recolor, so any grass in this world would be purple, except if you're holding it. Which is the case for biome-specific colors no matter what. Colored water show you. Can I do it later? Squid, can you make a world with purple lightning? Colored lightning has been in since I did color modifiers. It was one of the things I did on stream, live, because somebody suggested it. I started laughing and decided to do it. Let's see here. Are there new liquid pages? Well, water and lava exist as liquid modifiers. And let's see here. If Buildcraft or some other oil adding mod are in, then that'll happen. Like, you'll get an oil symbol as well somewhere. It'll be created and added to the system. If you have the Timber mod installed and hacked a tendril, what would happen? Probably extreme lag. Initially, depending on how it handles things. If it's a delayed system, as in it doesn't try to do it all in one tick, you'd probably get a really nice cascade effect. In fact, you'd probably be really pretty to watch. But I don't actually know how it works, so I can't correctly predict what would happen. Let's see here. Next! I'm just popping through some different dimensions to see what we get. I just teleported the same dimension. There we go. Yeah, Mystcraft and Forge are obviously the only mods right now. It's dark, but you gotta see the end stone. Let me want to find my brightness. I remember where to do that. There we go. Still pretty dark in here. But it's a cave. Guess not much you can do for that. So we've got endstone in here, and apparently stone tendrils. You probably can't see very much in here. And there's also coal tendrils here. So this age is actually slightly unstable due to the added coal tendrils. I'm not sure how that manifests. Night vision potion, that's a great idea. Let's see here. Anybody remember where it is? Potion of... Is it actually night vision? Why do these aren't in any particular order? It's dark blue. That's purple. Confirming. Night vision. Excellent, thank you. Yay! Yeah, sorry. Okay, so we've got ice tendrils and coal tendrils, and actually we may have two sets of coal tendrils because this is a lot of coal tendrils. More ice tendrils. Maybe I'm just floating through the middle of a generation set. There were stone tendrils somewhere. There we go. Stone tendrils. You've never seen a mod that adds new potions before because potions are kind of a weird system in native. Mark's been trying to get somebody to change that. Tendrils everywhere. Yes, you've got that correct. And these, again, for anybody just showing up, this is a randomly generated age. I didn't write any part of this. We've got in-stone terrain, and let's see what the surface is like. Spawning modifier stuff will come later. Ooh. Okay, it's actually dark out. That sky is dark. But I can't see the stars. I wonder if there are stars. It's possible there are no stars. So let's Oops. And there's 2 moons? No, 1 moon there. I think it's just the same moon. Apparently mushrooms can spawn on Instone. Must be a mushroom biome thingy. Alright, so let's see here. Add an upside down symbol. It's because upside down winds up indistinguishable from right side up with camera mutations. And it wouldn't actually be interesting. I guess I could try generating terrain upside down, but for caves, you wouldn't notice a marked difference. I mean, flip this upside down. You wouldn't get anything. Note, this age, like the caves here, don't appear to have any sea. That probably means that the water is set to nothing. Oh, there it is down there. Never mind. Water. Okay. Cave world, upside down skylands. That would be difficult. Not difficult to do, but difficult to play on. Alright. Shall we do that? Mystcraft ages kind of affect what bees you can find. Alright, this generated some interesting stuff. It appears to be snowing up there. We've got a starfisher down there. Glass tendrils. Recommendation for a Soaring Age. All terrains replaced with chests. Maybe I just spawned random empty chests around all over the place. Did I really get 2 levels of cave? That's interesting. It's just a very complex cave system, but it's not anything odd. It's just a nice world. Alright, so... Yep. We appear to have a tiled biome system here, with some of it snowing, and some of it not. So let's see here. This is a desert. Ice plains. So we've either got eternal weather or eternal snow. There we go. Back in your world. Alright. Did I just create a dimension and not TPX to it? Or I did. No, that was the one we just did. Okay, so. Just create. 7. Ooh, I really like that sky color. That is pretty. Purple seems to be oddly prioritized. I need to figure out why that is. The fruit looks nice. I should figure out why purple's so common here. Okay, well, I'll make a note of that. Somebody suggested that Jada's hacked into the system that is modifying things. Alright, so let's see here. I'll just make a note in my to-do list here that Purple is priority? Huh? Why? Alright. I think all the vines are all purple. Actually, this grass may or may not be... Okay, no. Grass is not colorized. Foliage is. The sky is. The stars may or may not be. The clouds are actually kind of this dark navy blue, which is also quite pretty. Oh good, they fixed those derpy cloud thing. You couldn't see. Yeah, that's good. Clouds work right now. Let's find out what color the water is. It looks blue over there. Though it's cold over there, so it may or may not be ice. No, there's a bug in the way biomes handle colorization, so fir trees and birch trees don't colorize right. This water is blue, so it's just normal. Whoa! This world just got very flashy. Why? And then it got really dark. Oh, I bet you that was a, Oh, okay, it was night vision wearing off. Thank you for explaining that to me. It's aliens! I suppose that's well, this does seem like a very alien world. The trees are purple. I thought it was kind of a producible... It probably is a producible effect, actually, given the way the system works now. If I was going to suggest that it was the sunset applied to a moon coming up, that... because it was timed with that. If the... am I on Planet Namek? Maybe? Did Planet Namek have wooden tendrils? I don't think it did. In before the Vanu take over. This would be a good place for the Vanu. I know all the references. Anyway, the sunset could have been put on a gradient that pulsed between white and black, which would have produced a flashing effect. So I was thinking that was a possibility. How does Mystcraft handle natural clouds? I have no idea. Namek had green water, that's a good point. So I didn't randomly generate Namek, but I could actually write it. Alright, let's do one more purple grass. Let's see if we get something else purple. Black. It's very dark here. Nope. The trees are blue. Sky's a normal color. There's two moons. There's one of my structures off in the distance. And at least it's not purple. Note that these are all randomly created, and that I'm still tweaking the rules. So note that I've gotten most agents have had some colorization applied to them, which is okay, but the rules will probably change some in terms of their weighting and whatnot between now and the actual release, which will be fairly soon now. I'm just tweaking things. To maybe not produce every age having colorized. One thing I should note, grass, foliage, and watercolors are just just a color. You can't have a gradient applied to them. The reason for this is well, basically, the render system for Minecraft just doesn't update that fast. If it was auto gradient, you'd occasionally see the trees change colors in some chunks. It would be weird. For the moment, there's a small bug in how biomes handle colors. Birch leaves and fir trees don't colorize, but oak leaves and jungle leaves do. Will Mystcraft use the Forge Ore Dictionary to generate symbols for the ores from different mods? Probably not. It might. I might go through and do some of that. But in the meantime, yeah, at the very moment, I don't think it does. Is there a way to restrict age creation to ops on servers? Well, you can break any of the, or you can disable any of the crafting at any point through the config. You can turn off the crafting elements. So that would make it very difficult to craft them, since at this point making an age requires crafting a link panel. You can disable the crafting of link panels, for instance, or you can disable the crafting of bookbinders, or you can disable the crafting of disabling the crafting of bookbinders is pretty much the best bet. If I put an oak leaf somewhere, will it be blue or green? Well, if I hold it in my hand, it's green. If I put it on the ground, it's blue. This is because it's biome colorization. Slightly odd, but that's how Minecraft does it. Can I show the process of creating an age? Well, sure. I did earlier, but I'll do it again. Flower. Probably came from one of the starfishers. Alrighty. Let's see here. A bunch of stuff in my inventory. Okay, so this is the ink mixer here. This is a basin, ink in it. You can make link panels. Link panels are necessary for crafting scripted books. Without the link panel, you can't make a book. And then it has to be the first page. Because it has to be the first page. You can still name the book, but if you don't, it'll give it an automatic one. So let's see here. That made me a descriptive book. Page 9. I won't actually go there for now. Note that I put in that age a page. The rest of it will be auto-generated, like I was just doing earlier. Alright. So that's how you make link panels. But why the basin? Why bother with this render here? That's because you can modify the ink. You can add things to it. So let's find... I don't even remember all these properties yet. I don't remember if Lapis does anything. I'm planning on Lapis to do something at some point. Glowstone I know doesn't do anything at some point. Clay does something. Do we have clay in here? Clay. Alright, and then ender pearls also did something. Alright, we could actually look at the code. Actually, I don't want to do that. The reason for this is I'd kind of like it to be something to discover at some point. So I'm not just going to look at the code and show it to you. Though you can't see... Okay, I can look at the code and you can't see it. Yay! Alright, so I'll cheat a little bit. How did I do this? It's here. Alright, so I'll give you a couple. Note that these are not final. Yeah, this is why I need two screens, but actually at the moment I can, since I'm using the new system, I can actually look at things without people seeing. It's fine. What else was I gonna grab? Not from here. Where's gunpowder? There it is. Okay. So, take just one, drop it in there. I look forward to it, Wild. Okay, red. It's a little bit red. What does red mean? Anybody got guesses? It blinked red briefly. It will cycle through colors. If I drop in 1, 2, 3, 4... I'll drop in some clay now. It's not low on ink. Sillybits guesses disarm. Sillybits is correct. Red means go. Red does not mean go. So silly is correct in that red means disarm. What could adding clay do? The moment clay adds the generate platform, so the single block that's generated. Correct, Cyber Goblin. Good job. Alright, so note that these are shared percentages. If you increase the probability of one thing, then you decrease the probability of everything else. So I could add a lot of gunpowder and basically make it a 100% chance of generating disarm. If I add in some clay, I've now reduced the chance of disarm and increased the chance of that. Note that it cycles through colors based on the probabilities. Since there's a low chance of disarm and a high chance of generate platform, it won't necessarily get both properties. It generates them based on that. So if I go back in now, I only got generate platform. There was a chance of getting disarm, but I didn't get disarm. This makes it possible to get multiple properties on a link panel, but slightly more difficult and a little bit, it's supposed to be a bit chancy. If you really want a property, it's easy enough to get to a max thing. But it's difficult to get lots of properties. So that's how we get properties on our link books now. You can apply these to descriptive books, so if I put it in here, I would get a descriptive book with generate platform, which would be useless since descriptive books start with generate platform. And then I can, using a bit of leather, link panel, make an unlinked link book. This is how you make link books now. There we go, now it has generate platform. I'm glad to see the chat likes this. Okay, so you'll note I actually have some unlinked link books in my inventory here. If I do this, I'll be floating up here in the air. Why is it still raining? Stop. Hey. Thank you. Alright, so I'll be floating in the air, and I'll bind this to here. So, it's not bound to the overworld. I can't use it since it's not interlinking. But I can use my debug block here and cheat a bit. Interlinking and following. Okay. That's a long title, but it fits. Alright, so I'm now in the air, and it generated a platform. Previous worlds will work just fine. No worries. Alright. What else? I believe that's most things that updated, or that have changed. The new feature for the ink mixing. I hope that'll work. A bit of an experiment there. Chat has generally said that they like it, so I'm looking forward to further feedback and comments on it. Well, if you when you first create the age, it generates the 5x5 platform, irregardless of how the linking works. That's property of the age. So all ages will have this. But linking can have generate platform that does a 1x1 block. So just a block. Okay. That's most of the features that will go in the current release. I'm going to get rid of age temples or make them rare? No, I'm not planning on that. There are some things I'm planning on doing, like making books take damage in several regards and whatnot. Are there new ways to get pages? Not that I can think of. Expecting Mystcraft soon? Yeah, fairly soon at this point. I'm just tweaking things. I'm adjusting to make sure that stuff is fairly balanced for release. I don't want to throw something at you and it not work well. It'll work, just not sure it'll work well. Particularly, I need to adjust the rules for generation to make sure you don't wind up with purple ages all the time. Not sure what you mean by diamond age, but diamond or tendrils are a possibility. I don't know when you're going to eat next, Soren, so probably not, actually. You tend to eat there fairly often. Should pages ever be consumable? Well, in some sense they are. I think what you're asking is, should pages be so easy to replicate? And I'm on the fence, but I'm of the mind that they shouldn't be. I want to make things move more toward a collectible system than just find once and use forever. I have several plans for this, but they can't be done just yet because some mechanics aren't in yet. When I have things like qualities and whatnot in, then the collectible system will be a lot more valid. Could I make a modifier that adds an Ender Dragon to the age? It's called the Sky Biome. Yes, this is running on 1.5.2. I don't intend for the portals to ever render anything other than what they're rendering. This is the appearance for the portals. This is intended for appearance. I do intend for link panels here to render something else, but I'm not there. I'm not there yet. Can I add an instability that spawns withers? Certainly. don't think it's a good idea, but I could do it. Any auto-cleaning for ages yet? No, not yet. Really, I'm of the mind that auto-cleaning is a bad thing, because it's just too easy for it to go wrong. But at some point, I'll have some extra tools for helping cleaning up pages. At the moment, you still just have to delete the chunks manually. Choosing portal colors, yeah, I still want to do that. It's unfortunately not a high priority. So I've got other things I should really do first. But you can cycle until you find one you like. At the moment, I think there's a small issue with portal colors in that since Minecraft changed how it does these textures, I completely had to change that, and I think it's a little too dark at the moment. But that's just me. The memory links weren't really Mystcraft. I don't believe Mystcraft indexes any worlds at any time, so it's not possible for it to leak in that regard. Let's see here, post that point. There were other memory leaks issues. I don't think Mystcraft had any of them. Nobody's actually managed to find any in Mystcraft itself. Though Mystcraft does excavate, or yeah, I think that's the word. I think that's a word anyway. The issues in other things in terms of it creates dimensions, and then other things that don't correctly release memory will collect lots of memory. Excavate. I can't actually verify it's a word. Thank you, Soren. Will worlds unload correctly on servers? Currently, Mist worlds don't seem to ever unload unless I restart the server. That's a bug in somebody else's thing. Mystcraft worlds unload correctly. That code has, back when Mystcraft was a jar mod, that was in Mystcraft, and before Mystcraft moved to Forge, it was moved to Forge. So, exacerbate. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I was really having some problems with that word. It's one of those words that I've read and never heard said. Let's see here. I lost my train of thought. So anyway, the ages will unload correctly unless somebody else is doing something wrong, which is entirely possible. So if ages aren't unloading, go look for other mods that cause that issue. Don't come to Mystcraft. What's the best way to find pages in this version? I'm not sure. Villagers work quite well, and you can find some slightly rarer ones fairly easily in the libraries and ages. What microphone headset am I using? Well, I've just got a pair of earbuds in, and the microphone's built into my laptop. A way to change Mystcraft pages into vanilla paper to remove duplicates. No, there isn't one. And that particular feature wouldn't be useful in the future, so you wouldn't actually want that feature in the future, so I won't bother with that. XConf, what is that block? Boy, that is a specific question. I'm going to assume you mean this one. It is the ink mixer. I've explained it 2 or 3 times already in this stream, so I don't think I'll explain it again. Can we get a new dungeon for Mystcraft? Well, sure, yeah. There's several in planning. I've actually got several people have offered to make me new things for Mystcraft, new structures and things. And at some point, I will get around to adding some of the things people have made for me. I'm really looking forward to that, but time has been tight lately. No, the one in front of it. Sand? Writing desk. Bookbinder. Link modifier. Turn. Will the link modifier block be craftable again? No. It's a debug block. It's always been a debug block. It was craftable at one point just so you could play with the modifiers, but you've got this now. If you really want to modify things, then you can spawn one of these. Like you can get the admin for the server or something to spawn one. Let's see here. Can we update to this version from 5.1 without problems? Yes. There should not be any issues in updating. I generally do my level best to ensure back compatibility. So, ages. To make that clear, the first ages from the very first version of Mystcraft are actually still readable by the age system. It will interpret them and convert them into ages now. It might do some interesting things to them, but I don't think it will. Some people spam worlds to get temples for easy pages. Yeah, I'm trying to limit that. The link panel requirement slows that down a bit. The symbol stuff requirements will slow that down a bit. The link modifier stuff is already available through here. I just throw in. I already threw in all my gunpowder, so grab some more. It'll cycle now between red and black. I should actually. I need to adjust this particular effect some. It's just kind of a stand-in for the moment. So this has got a very high probability of generating disarm, but it's not guaranteed, so let's see what I get. I got disarm. So let's do can't craft that way. Disarm. And Direwolf 20 is back. Have I considered adding prison age books? Well, you're looking at one. Disarm is intended to be Mystcraft's answer to what prison ages were in Myst. It's the closest I can get. You've not seen this effect before? This is Disarm. It's been around for ages. I'll show you what it does. Make it so I can actually use this book. I need to do intro. That's it. And then before I use this, I'm going to grab a hopper if I can remember where they are. They're in here, I think. Yeah. I'm gonna grab a bunch of these and then do this. And this is the disarm book. We'll watch for the effect from it. I'll try the ring first. It's still raining. Strange. Okay. Okay, so we've seen the effect once, but I'm gonna wait for it a moment again. There we go. See the lightning? The lightning is not new. It's part of the disarm effect. It's been around for quite a while. I didn't mean to make the ages pun a few moments ago. I apologize. I just dropped everything. There's nothing left in my inventory. I have no idea where stuff wound up. That wasn't a charged age. That was a disarm link. Okay, so there's some unlinked linking books. Overworld. This is probably the one I just used. Night vision's fun. Okay. Stone. Luther. I should also show you how to craft the ink mixer. You might want to know how to do that. Hopper was the only item that didn't go in the hopper. Okay then. This, that, and the other. Gunpowder, link panels, and a book. I believe that was everything. I'll leave this set up here for the moment. I should really arrange it so that it's all connected properly. But for right now, I'll leave it alone. Yeah, I'm getting my items back in creative, but that's just so I don't have to go searching for it again. Okay, I have almost everything I need. Let's see here. Materials, no. Miscellaneous, no. Brewing down here, glass bottle. I kind of know where everything is. Alright, so. This is the recipe for the ink mixer. Disarm works on most inventories. In terms of it will affect the player's inventory, they'll drop everything. And disarm portals will cause the player to drop everything, and items won't link through. Most inventories will empty, and then buying carts, for instance, will empty and whatnot. This is the intended recipe. That is the actual recipe. I may change it if there are complaints or something, but I rather like the recipe. It's good. What are these pages? These are link panels. That's how you make books now. How did I come up with the idea for the ink mixing? Well, I don't remember at this point. It's been a while since I came up with the idea. I've actually had the idea for since before this past semester. I just took forever to come up with it, or to actually implement it. The basic concept is actually in here. You can dump some things in. Well, that was interesting. Minecraft just crashed. Yay! Oh, that was dumb. All right, so I'm failing to handle a null pointer. All right. I screwed up and failed to handle a null pointer. Happens. So, let's see here. It's because this particular function here, I hope you can see what I'm doing now. Yes, this particular function here doesn't handle null well. So. I was removing and adding pages to notebooks and suddenly I had a question page in my inventory. That means that the internal identifier for the symbol for the page didn't map to an actual symbol. This means that probably means that something was uninstalled or changed, whatever, and the symbol no longer mapped to anything. I'm not passing the problem to the parent. People are asking if this is a problem for it being null. No, I checked this is null in the only place that I use it, so it's fine. Your eyes are bleeding. Any actual reason for why? You get question pages with villager traits. That's bizarre. When you made Mystcraft, what did you think the player would do with it most? Honestly, I don't know. I was creating it originally because Myst is awesome, and I thought it would make a neat mod for Minecraft. And I was expecting it to be of interest to a very small group of people that liked both Minecraft and Myst. Somebody has commented, all that coding is the reason I don't do mods. I have no idea how many lines of code I have in my mod. Villagers sell blank pages. Is this intended? Oh, I didn't know they did that. This has now turned it into a question and answer with XComp. Yes, that tends to happen. Vanilla written books in book stands. Or specifically, I want to do written books in lecterns. But I don't know when I'll get to it. Yes, Soren is my little brother. Or younger brother, I should say. He's actually taller than I am. I'm just kind of picking questions out of random here. Really? I don't know. Sure. Do you have an estimated release date for this particular build? Fairly soon. I'm just working on tweaking the grammar rules for the generation. The villager issue where stacks of items over 64 was fixed. Example one book and 69 emeralds for a page. Yeah, that's fixed. That was just me not paying attention. I actually studied computer science at the University of Helsinki, and I also teach computer science at the University of Helsinki. And I'm doing my master's thesis now. I specialize in artificial intelligence and algorithms for games. But I have taught, and in fact lectured a couple courses on, or taught many courses, lectured one course on software development, specifically development for games. So, yeah, I kind of specialize in this. How old am I? I am 24, I think. Yes, I'm 24. I'm not actually Finnish. I'm actually from the States, originally. But I've lived in Finland for the past 6 years now, doing my studies. So I've stayed here. I'm still studying here, so yeah. I'm not sure after studies, but I'll probably stay here. When did I start making Mystcraft? Fall 2011. How old is Soren? Soren is younger than I am. He is my younger brother. So is the rest of my family in Finland? Well, actually, presently, yes. I'm the only one that lives here, but at the moment they're all here. Somebody's requesting an anti-linking button in the link modifier, which is the wrong place for that, because you actually want it as a property of the age, not the link itself. If you want adventure maps to not have the ability to link anywhere, then you just need to make sure they can't have linking books, or can't craft them. How much money do I earn doing Mystcraft? Nothing. I had donations at one point, but people stopped donating, so I don't make anything. Wait, you're in Finland. Why don't you sleep? It's 3 a.m. You are, in fact, incorrect. It is nearly 4 a.m. Why don't I sleep? I'm a computer scientist. Soren and I are not currently in the same building. In fact, we're not in the same city. We are within some transit time of each other, but at the moment, transit's not running. Let's see here. Are you not tired? I am, in fact, quite tired. Doing my job. Well, my job is teaching at the university, and I do make some money doing that, but I don't actually keep track of how much. Sleep is so overrated, and the next comment is student! And that pretty much sums up why I'm not sleeping. A couple comments down is programmers don't sleep, and that is also correct. Hey, it's Rebel Keithy. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Will portals with disarm mobs that are carrying gear? I wish. Unfortunately, Mojang decided to implement gear on mobs in a completely different system. So it's not an inventory. So, actually, no. It won't disarm them. How do I feel about Mojang today, XComp? Well, they're fine. Every now and then I complain about some of the systems and the way they did things, but I think I'd have complaints irregardless, just because it wouldn't line up with what I'd want. In general, they do okay. I like most of them. I've spoken with some of them. They're fine. Programmers don't sleep; they recharge. Yep. Clear all items from the NBT slots on mob entrance. I think that could work. The problem is, I'd like it for it to be generic. I'm that way. So the fact that it's not bothers me to no end. I could probably add in a system that does it. And in fact, I might have already. I just don't remember. Since you make a mod, why don't you change things so that they do things your way? Well, that requires modifying the bases, and you can't do that if you're doing a Forge mod. I'm glad people appreciate the mod. Thank you for appreciating it. Let's see here. Are we spamming you? No. I am sitting here and answering random questions. This is a random question and answer session with XCompWiz. If you missed the earlier dev sequence, then I suppose apologies. This is your second favorite mod. What's your favorite? I understand nothing! I'm sure you understand something. You managed to put that sentence together. You should set up a deleted link. Haha. How do you feel about the new Minecraft launcher? There's a new Minecraft launcher? What? You should do what you did in the last stream. Add a bunch of new stuff we won't see for a few updates. Well, no, the stuff I'm working on right now you will see whenever I release this, which should be fairly soon. Wow, this is... The chat just got really fast. Okay, I can only read so fast. Donate to XComp if you love the mod. I would highly appreciate that. I really would, because it doesn't actually make anything. I think the stream actually has... I don't remember. Was somewhere on the stream itself, the stream page itself, there should be a donation link. I hope. If not, there's one on the binarymage.com thing. For those that are trying to find it. XComp, we should host coding lessons. I actually would be okay with that. I'd probably enjoy it. I don't know if I'd be any good at it. I do teach, but I don't know if I could teach over this medium. It would be a bit different for me. But face cam? No, I don't feel like doing a face cam. One, my hair's a bit long right now. But in terms of teaching over this medium, I could try it. I would be interested in trying it. I don't know if I'd be interesting. I might, in fact, be quite boring. But it'd be worth trying, I suppose. You'd like Lua lessons? Well, I know Lua. I'm proficient with a number of languages, in fact. I'm to the point that I cannot list the number of programming languages I know, and it's almost not worth doing, because if I look at a language for about 20 minutes, I actually can learn it fairly quickly. Someone doesn't understand the Falling Man logo, and that logo comes from the original Myst. The Myst game intro had someone falling, just a black silhouette, and this is kind of the Minecraft thing. Somebody says something was scary. I don't know what. Somebody asked something a few moments ago. Do your students appreciate you? Most of them seem to. I actually get along very well with most of my students. So. Syntax dexterous. I like that word. That's rather clever. Languages are simple, libraries are complicated. I actually don't agree with that. I will acknowledge that libraries are complicated, but they're not necessarily more complicated than languages themselves. Yes, I have actually played the parody to Myst. It was dumb, but I appreciated the making of it. How do I learn languages so quickly? Practice. I know a lot of programming languages, so I have some good background in how languages work. I've been programming for a very long time, so I just kind of look at it and go, this is how this language does this. And within 20 minutes, I can write some stuff in it, and within a few hours, I can be quite proficient. And within a couple days, I can be very good, in fact, at a language. Yes, I am a teacher. How are the finals? Finals are done. I'm on holiday. This is why Myst is getting work done, or Mystcraft is getting work done. Most languages are quite similar. This also helps for learning things. May I ask what you teach? Computer science? Primarily game development. When did I get into coding? I was 9 years old and I started with QBasic. I wanted to make games. So for every language you learn, it gets easier to learn more. Yes. This is the same for natural languages, but I just do it for programming languages. I'm not very good at natural languages, it turns out. If you wanted to learn a language without knowing any others in terms of programming languages, probably Java, using Eclipse. It does hold your hand quite a lot. It makes things easier to do. Do I have any eternal truths? No, but at one point I was in a short film where I played the boy of the eternal truths. What language does Minecraft use? Java. Do your students know your ex-comp whiz? Yes, that's in fact the handle I use around the department. We're computer scientists, and that makes us all quirky and very up with technology. And in IRC, I'm ex-comp whiz everywhere, including on the department. They all know I'm ex-comp whiz. Most of them know I make a mod. What is Soren's real name? I won't tell you. That's his business. Does your class think it's awesome their teacher mods Minecraft, or don't they know? Well, they know, and some of them think it's pretty cool, but most are pretty ambivalent about it, because I make a mod for Minecraft, but programming, okay. Learn C++, then you can learn anything else. This is almost totally correct. It's a good... it will help you in learning things, but it won't necessarily... guarantee you can learn everything, in that, for instance, Perl is quite different, but it will help for most C-style languages, which most languages are, the most commonly used languages, I should say, are rather C-style these days. I actually learned, I started with QBasic and then moved to C++ almost immediately afterward. C++ is kind of my native programming language. The Wawa-lite, well, you can name it. You can't post any links. C# is a language I know and have done things in, but I'm not exactly proficient with it, in that I've not done very much in it. I've written a couple dummy programs. And hi, Lyra. I didn't actually get to say hello. Why am I not in Vasa? Well, I like Vasa. Vasa's a very nice place. But... I'm in the University of Helsinki because, well, I got into the University of Helsinki. I actually didn't try to get into the University of Vasa, so I don't know. Don't stop asking questions. See how long he stays. Well, for as long as the questions are interesting, I probably will. What programming language do you see most future in? C++ has been around a long time and has a lot of the... it is the most commonly used language for game development. And I say that with a lot of background in, like, a lot of knowledge for this. Have I seen The Name of the Doctor? Yes, I like that episode. And C++ is very likely to continue being the most commonly used language for developing games. Why? Because it provides you all the power you need to make a game at most levels. But there's also lots of libraries written for it to make things possible to do. It is the go-to language for the AAA games. However, other languages do make it easier to make some games. Or not necessarily some games, but it's easier for people to make games in some languages. Unity is an example, even though Unity is not actually a language, it's a framework. Unity is nice. I've actually worked with it before. I've taught a class that used it. I'm kind of a fan. I like it. It's good. I've also worked with C# and XNA. I've in fact done a number of courses where those are the languages used to develop games. Unity is not basically Java. Have I ever looked at Torque 3D? I have, in fact. These days, I always surprise myself. Somebody suggests, have you looked at this? And I go, yes, actually I have. I forget all the things I do know. It's been a while since I looked at Torque 3D. It's probably changed since. Uh, I never actually used it because whenever I looked at it, it required you actually buy a license, and I didn't feel like doing that. Minecraft in C++ would have been a lot faster, but there would have been no mods. You are correct, because I don't believe Notch would ever have implemented a system for making mods. Mojang now probably wouldn't have. The most effective system would have been Lua, and I don't think anybody would have bothered to do it. So there would be no mods for Minecraft. You're correct. Do I like computer craft in Minecraft? I do. It's fun. If you know Lua, it's really overpowered. And I know Lua. Do I see myself making an actual game in the near future? I have always wanted to make games, and I've actually made games in the past, but not particularly distributed them. So yes, there's good chances of me making games in the future. Code something for Mystcraft on screen. Well, there's code for Mystcraft on screen, but I'm not currently doing anything. I appreciate the compliments, thank you. Have I ever wanted to kick a student out of my class? No. All of my students have actually been pretty good, but classes aren't required, you don't have to attend them, so the ones that attend are interested, and generally interesting, and they're fine, and they don't cause disruptions or anything. There have been a few students I've had that I didn't understand why they were in my class, because they were either not interested in what was going on in the class, or they were completely going, like, I don't understand why you need to know this. So it was kind of strange they were there at all. For instance, one of them went, why do I need to know mathematics in order to program games? And this was only in a review. I never actually spoke with this person directly. If he'd actually said that to my face, I probably would have given it a blank stare while I processed how dumb the comment was. I've written my own game engine. I intend to use that. If you forgot coding tomorrow, where would you start learning? I learned programming primarily through books. I have shelves of programming manuals. I've learned some languages since. I learned most languages I know after attending university, like during my time at university. Not necessarily in class. People would introduce me to languages in classes and give me the basic instructions in them, and then I would just kind of go from there, because that's how we were expected to do it. But I'd probably start with books, because that's how I did it in the first place. How do I really know whether I should study computer science? Do you like algorithms? Good night, Finn. Finn being a person from Finland. I've done programming with C#, which is C++ and Java, which is a pretty reasonable assessment, I will add. I'm surprised that Lua is so similar. Lua is based on C, really. Well, C, C++. C# is very similar to C++, with lots of Java elements. For example, garbage collection. I have been teaching myself coding for over 6 years now and improving every day. And I'm reading a comment. I've been coding for a lot longer than that, actually. And yes, that's how you go, and that's really good. Bravo for you. Which is the better book, Programming Pearls or Design Patterns? I can solve a Rubik's Cube. How about you, XComp? Yeah? Sure? What isn't based on C? Pascal? Lisp? What are your thoughts of Google's Go being considered a replacement for C++ in the future? I've not looked at Google's Go, so I don't know. I won't say the name of this programming language, but I have never actually bothered to learn that language. So, no, I don't enjoy reading it. It's a really strange language. It's a really dumb language, and it exists solely as a toy for programmers. Uh, Rune Smasher? Or Rune Maker? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. It's a little odd. I do, in fact. Cobol! Cobol's not based on C, I don't think. Python's not based on C, I don't think. Though they're similar. One of the main things you have to learn for most programming things these days is object-oriented. Once you get with object-oriented, then then you can do a lot of things. I won't ever swear on stream. In fact, I don't swear speaking. So I don't swear. I'd prefer if you guys didn't swear, but the name of the language they were just talking about is the name of the language they were talking about. So they weren't exactly swearing. Basic. Which version of Basic? QBasic, Turbo Basic, Visual Basic, Visual Basic. Which version? I am eating Skittles. Would you like some? I love Skittles, please. Can you repeat the ETA? Soon. Wow, that's happening a lot. I did know that Roller Coaster Tycoon was coded entirely in assembly, and I applaud the madman that did it. How are you? I'm fine. A little tired. Thank you for asking. There are some admins around here. Well, not Twitch admins, but I do have some moderators floating around. You started with batch scripting. Have fun. I would recommend learning Bash at some point too. It's for the other systems, but it's also very useful. Visual Basic is a useful language for things like launchers and very small pieces of software. If you're writing a quick calculator, then great. Chris Sawyer is the guy that made Roller Coaster Tycoon. He is quite impressive. If you named one of the people in Roller Coaster Tycoon Chris Sawyer, then they would do funny things. XComp, can you make me some cookies? No. Are there differences between QBasic and QuickBasic? QBasic is for DOS. I believe QuickBasic was later, but I'm not sure. How would an absolute newbie get started with in Java? Go find some books, read, and then do some things. Did I ever code in assembly? Yes. To continue the answer for the learning Java, books, videos, code some things. Picking a mod is actually a decent method to learn coding. You won't make a very good mod if you're starting out, but it's a good way to learn. Making mistakes is fine as long as you're okay with the idea of fixing them. Cygwin kind of runs Bash. Cygwin is a system for simulating a Unix or a Linux terminal on Windows. Have you tried modding Minecraft using Scala? I have not tried. I'm not sure how it's done offhand, but I'd be interested in learning. You know of an MMO that uses a lot of Lua? I'd be interested to know which one. I really want to write some code right now. Any ideas? Well, if you don't know how to code, go learn to make a basic Hello World program. How should I go about learning BASIC? Again, I'm not sure which version of BASIC you mean. You probably mean Visual Basic, using like Visual Studio or something like that. Most of Visual Basic is, well, visual. You can just kind of drag and drop things around and then double click on stuff to add the interaction code. Try it. Pick up a few books, watch some videos. That's pretty much the method to learn most of the basic languages. Most games do use some form of scripting in order to improve, well, to have modability and to improve the development process and whatnot. Lua is a very common language for game modding, or game scripting. Visual Basic is easy and also fairly dull. You're hoping to learn Java over the summer. How long does it take? XComp. I don't know. Depends on you. Could take you all summer. Could take you a couple of years. You'll probably be pretty decent with Java by the end of the summer. How many games have Lua in them? There's a lot. There's a list on Wikipedia if you feel like looking it up. Do I know of any good references about common pitfalls of writing a voxel rendering algorithm? Not offhand. But it sounds like you're doing something awfully fun. Was Mystcraft your brainchild originally? Well, Mystcraft is entirely mine, so yeah. Do you have any gaming company you would love to work for? Kinda. I'm not sure I would be completely and totally happy working in any game development company. I'm very happy working at university, and I'll probably stay there for a while. I'm planning on doing my PhD university here. But working in almost any game company would probably be both exciting and interesting. If you know C++, then learning Java will probably just take you a few days. That is correct. Java is rather the de facto standard for learning in most school environments for programming languages. Did Soren assist me in any way in the creation of Mystcraft? He might have given me a couple ideas or pointed out some game concepts, but I don't think he had any particular input in things. I don't know if I'm using any of his textures. He's offered to do a few for me. Soren's very good at textures. I've assisted him in some ways on Mystcraft, because I'm kind of the programmer of the family. Our father does program as well, but I'm the software expert and he's the electronics engineer. What are launchers written in? Anything? How long do you think it would take a newcomer to coding to gain enough knowledge to start modding? I really want to start, but I don't know how. Depending on how complicated the mod is, you could probably start while you learn. Software engineering teaches Java. Well, it's a good approach to learning programming. It's how the university here teaches basic programming. It's the language they use for introduction to programming, in fact. I demoed earlier the 1.5.2 update for Mystcraft. I did help Soren some with Mystcraft and a couple of points for coding and whatever. Minecraft Launcher is in Java, this is correct. Are there some other Minecraft modders that you admire or look up to? Well, I very much admire Pahimar, and LRM has made a very impressive mod, though she's not been around for a while. CPW is also quite impressive. Which is the best C++ IDE in your opinion? I don't have a favorite. On Windows, I tend to use Visual Studio because I have it, and I'm kind of used to it. It's not necessarily perfect in every way. I've got some complaints. I've managed to find a couple things that, like plugins, that make it better for me, but I would still like to see some things in it. The IntelliSense is terrible, but the autocomplete is nice. It has been for forever. What else? But on Linux systems, I tend to use Genie and make files. That's how I do it. What's your opinion of code blocks? I've not used code blocks much. It looks fine. XCOMPWiz, can you make a mod for me that does? And then the part was just removed. I probably am entirely capable of it. Whether or not I'd actually do it, I don't know. Bromok points out that the IntelliSense is tied very strongly with the autocomplete. And my point for this, yeah, they're the same, well, they're all from the same system. But the autocomplete works very well, whereas the IntelliSense will get very confused very easily. I've had it get really confused over strange errors before. Asinor is also quite impressive, yes. Just because I list a couple guys and say I look up to these guys doesn't mean there's a complete list of people I look up to. Could I make a mod that goes plop? Well, I've made a mod that goes before, in terms of Mystcraft, the item linking is. And yes, that is the sound effect. I'm not playing the sound effect. The sound effect is me going. What arc are you working on right now in Mystcraft? Crafting. Crafting 2. Do I know any IDE for Minecraft? I think you mean Java. And I guess I'd use Eclipse in OS X. It is a nice sound effect. I was reasonably proud of it. I've not looked at Allegro for C++. It's not something I've seen before. Am I on Twitter often? I tend to check it fairly regularly. I don't tweet very often, but I do tweet. My stream should auto-tweet for me. I don't remember if it does that. There's a question here. So, like diamond books / pages, basically quality pages. I don't know what you're asking, but quality is the next arc, I think. It's the next one or the one after. There were no more questions. Okay. Alright, it's just gonna pause for a moment. How possible would it make to be seamless crystal portals, or at least something that lets you see where it leads? Okay, so you want portals that render the other side of the portal. Under the current system, in that the portal leads to the same point no matter where you hit the portal, it's not actually reasonable to do that. But I'm definitely not going to look at doing that until I have link panels working. And that somebody's working on an Android app that will connect to an infrared device via a USB port, or an IR device via USB port to control my TV. How hard will it be to change from that to doing a Minecraft mod? Well, I don't think a Minecraft mod will be would make much use of an infrared device. Though I would be interested if you could figure out a way to use an infrared device with a Minecraft mod. But it's Java, so you've got the basics. Can you allow block modifiers to the huge tree symbols? Oh! In terms of the wood type, I suppose I could look at it. Do you have any complex code you need help with that you want suggestions before you go to bed? No, I'm not actually working on code at the moment, but I appreciate the offer, Belrock. Thank you. How soon until this arc is completed? Or to phrase, are there many things on the list for this arc you want to implement before moving to the quality arc? There's a few things. Let me pull up the to-do list, which you won't actually see here. But where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's here somewhere. Well, link panel crafting, like link page crafting, is mostly done. In fact, I think it's actually qualifiably done for this to-do list, so that's good. I have a few, there's no other priority things for this arc, so everything else could move to the next arc. There's some things I'd like to look at before completing the arc, but I will actually push a build before I finish the arc. Minecraft is indeed a pain to code for because there's some systems that don't make any sense. But it's Java. You can do it. Worlds with harsh weather, tornadoes, earthquakes, etc. Earthquakes aren't weather, but there are things I wanted to do for a long time. Just don't know when I'll be able to do it. What's a link pal? Well, when I finish streaming, you can watch the video of the stream and you'll find out. Is there going to be an easy way to delete ages within game? Eventually. I want to add tools for that, but I need to very carefully consider how I do that. Systems that do not make sense. Welcome to the professional world of programming. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm of the mind that systems should generally make sense, and Minecraft has an amazing number of systems that were very badly done. Do you think you could do something where if you play hardcore, your linking books home had a timer, and the timer only ticked in the Mystcraft world, and you could only stay there for so many minutes? No, that doesn't sound very Myst-like at all. Can I stop Twilight Forest from adding its biomes? No. I would appreciate any free-to-use, homemade, high-quality sound effects. I don't know what I need any for at the moment, but I would appreciate them. Well, Bromock points out that every programmer thinks that the systems they make sense, but they only make sense to the person that made them. And I would argue that it is possible to make systems that generally make sense if you follow most design patterns, and if you do